Ya, layan aku lambat jap.
Tak apa. Kita boleh start. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. Welcome to our online forum that organized by WHO. My name is Muhammad Syafiqil bin Muhammad Anwar and I am the moderator for today. Today, we're blessed to be here to give a forum entitled Hazardous Impact of Air Pollution. Firstly, I would like to thank everyone to be here, to our dedicated panel and honorable audience. So, our topic today will be discussed by our well-known panel. So, before we started, I would like to introduce our panel. So, we have our first panel, Dr. Azim. He is a doctor from Mayo Clinic of Rochester, Minnesota, USA. So, good morning, Dr. Azim.
Yeah, good morning to you. I'm good.
You good, eh? The second panel is Ms. Hishotra from National Research Institute of Environmental Health. How are you feeling today, Ms. Hishotra?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And lastly, Dr. Alisa from Ministry of Health of Malaysia. So, how are you, Dr. Alisa?
Great, thank you, and I hope you're doing well too.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we all know that our topic today is about air pollution. Air pollution is the release of pollutants into the air that detrimental to human health and the planet as a whole. The Clean Air Act authorized the US Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, to protect public health by regulating the emission of these harmful air pollutants. The NRDC has been a leading authority on this law since it was established in 1970. There are many types of air pollutants such as nitrogen, ammonia, carbon dioxide, and many more. Okay, so next, I would like to continue our forum for today by asking Dr. Azim first. Dr. Azim, may you can share with us what is the impact of air pollution and healthcare industries?
Okay, thank you for the moderator. Okay, first of all, we must know what is the meaning of air pollution. Okay, air pollution is major public hazard that particularly happen in developing countries. Air pollution is defined as the presence of foreign substance in the air that affects the health and well-being of living things. As the world progresses, air pollution has become much bigger and a major problem that has to be faced by all of us. This problem is likely to have adverse effects on health even when pollutant levels are within the standards required by legislation. Okay, since the 1990s, many epidemiological studies has demonstrated association between the air pollution levels and health and human health in terms of hospital admissions. Air pollution are positively associated with hospital admission for cardiovascular disease, respiratory diseases, and gastrointestinal disease. Okay, we have conducted our study and our study showed that there are increasing risks of hospital admission for cardiovascular and respiratory group of diseases. Air pollution was believed to have influence only on the respiratory disease such as asthma and COPD in the old studies of 1990. For people who doesn't know what is COPD means, it means the chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. It is a lung disease characterized by chronic obstruction of lung airflow that interferes with normal breathing and not fully reversible. The more familiar terms is chronic bronchitis and emphysema. The symptoms of COPD is shortness of breath, wheezing, chronic cough, and lack of energy. Okay, however, in the early 2000s, more studies were done to establish the connection of the air pollution with the cardiovascular disease as we have more understanding of the component in the air pollutant and the physiology that can cause to the human body. Therefore, our study concurrent with the other study that state in the air pollution cause higher risk of cardiovascular and respiratory diseases hospitalization. Thank you.
Oh, I see. Thank you, Dr. Azim, for your explanation. So, Dr. Alisa, can I know what is the main factors that contributed to polluted the air?
Thank you, moderator. As you know, the air we breathe already contains air pollutants. The problem of air pollution come when unwanted chemicals are released into the air. According to the data supplied by the World Health Organization, air pollution or poor air quality result in 5.5 million unnecessary deaths annually. The air pollution comes mainly from land transportation, industrial emissions, and open burning sources. Did you know that the cars are the worst source of air pollution because there are so many of them? 61% of the Malaysian respondents state that they own a car. In the past year, the car ownership rate in Malaysia has been higher than our neighboring countries. Can all of you imagine that how much all of these cars pollute the air? How worse can it be? However, when 2020 Malaysian Movement Control Order was implemented with the aim to isolate the source of COVID-19 outbreak. As a result, there are changes during and before MCO in Malaysia. Since people are working from home, there were fewer numbers of motor vehicles on the roads and several operations of industry was suspended. Therefore, reducing emissions of hazardous air pollutants in the atmosphere. It was delighted to hear the, he, it was delighted to hear the right. Air pollution is a very serious problem. It contributes to global warming and harms to ozone layer in the atmosphere by making it thinner. And also it gives big impact to human health. Human activities have an adverse effect on environment by polluting the water we drink, the air we breathe, and the soil in which plants grow. Nothing is more vital to life than breathing in a lifetime, especially when you walk along a busy city street and you will inhale a lot of pollutants in a single lungful. Air pollution not only gives us breathing problems but also can develop heart disease, lung cancer, causing respiratory disease, skin problems for the people who are exposed to very polluted air. In 2012, according to the World Health Organization, air pollution caused 6,251 deaths in Malaysia, but this total amount of deaths excludes indoor air pollution. If this fact were included, the overall amount of deaths caused due to air pollution could probably be higher than road accidents. So what can I conclude here is the increased level of air pollutants will increase the effect of human health. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Alisa, for your nice explanation. So, Ms. Hishotra, can you tell us what is the relation of air pollution towards urban population and children?
Thank you, moderator. That's a very relatable question regarding our topic today. Without wasting any much of time, I would like to proceed directly towards the question regarding the relation of air pollution towards urban population and children. I would like to start off with urban population, where studies shows that the pollution-population relationship varies by region. For instance, a city of 1 million people in Europe experiences 6 times higher nitrogen dioxide pollution than an equally populated city of 1 million people in India, according to the research led by Locke Lamsel of NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, MD. The variation is the reflection of regional differences such as industrial development, per capita emissions, and also geography. Moving on, we as researchers have measured the relationship between population and several urban characteristics such as infrastructure, employment, and innovation. As a result, a conclusion is made that the relationship is also applicable to pollution. The measurement of that relationship is potentially useful for developing future inventories and formulating air pollution control policies. Not only that, Researchers also focused on nitrogen dioxide, or NO2, a common pollutant from the burning of fossil fuels. The gas is a precursor to the formation of near-ground ozone, which can cause respiratory problems and is a problem in many major metropolitan areas. NO2 is also unhealthy to breathe in high concentrations. One feature of the gas is it's a good proxy for urban air quality. Based on the current statistics, NASA satellites confirm that larger urban populations result in higher concentration of air pollution. However, the pollution-population relationship is not the same everywhere. It varies at different regions. Moving on, children are the dominant victims due to air pollution. Recently, a new report released by the World Health Organization on air pollution and child health, enforcing that almost all the world's children are exposed to dangerous level of air pollution. As we know, air pollution is a major environmental health threat, and children are the most vulnerable to it. According to the statistic, averagely every day around 93% of the world's children under the age of 15 years, around 1.8 billion children, breathe air that is so polluted it put their health at risk, and it always happens in particularly low and income countries. It is so pathetic to digest the issue when WHO estimates in 2016 600,000 over children died from acute lower respiratory infection caused by polluted air. Consequently, air pollution also impacts neurodevelopment and cognitive ability and also can trigger asthma and childhood cancer. Children who have exposed to high level of air pollution may be at greater risk for chronic diseases such as cardiovascular diseases later in life. One of the typical reasons of vulnerable effects towards children because they breathe more rapidly than adults and so absorb more pollutants. They also live closer to the ground where some pollutants reach peak concentration at a time when their brains and bodies are still developing. Furthermore, newborns and young children are also most susceptible to household air pollution in homes that are regularly using polluting fuels and technology for cooking, heating, and also lighting. Therefore, I would like to emphasize that there is a strong relationship of air pollution towards urban population and children. Kindly, steps should be taken to break the bond of this relationship for a better living for the future and the current generation. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Sotra. Now, Mrs. Sotra, sorry. Now I see how bad this air pollution to human. So for round two, we're gonna go back to Dr. Azim. So I would like to ask you, I would like to know about what is the impact and how the healthcare workers deals with air pollution.
Okay, thank you. Okay, for your question, how we deal with air pollution? Let me give you a simple answer. We in healthcare environment always follow SOPs, standard operational procedure, in order to reduce the risk of air pollution. For instance, we always wear masks, so we could protect ourselves from inhaling dangerous gas. This is because in healthcare industries, such as hospitals and pharmacies, we emit various gases that could harm human health, such as mercury and carbon monoxide. For Malaysian healthcare industries, we also cooperate with Simviro groups. Through Simviro groups of companies, they offer an array of innovative environmental service products and service ranging from downstream, midstream, and upstream of hazardous waste management to integrated solid waste management. This includes treatment and disposal, packaging, labeling, logistic and transportation, operation and maintenance service, research, technology development, tank cleaning service, and technical and consultancy services. In short, this Semviro group help us healthcare industries manage our hazardous waste to proper disposal waste. They would collect the waste emitted from hospital to transport to their place and to proper disposal way. Okay. where they would neutralize the waste to become a less dangerous substance that having a less and reduced impact on the environment. As far as I know, their final product will be disposed to the landfill sites and the place will be strictly guarded. The cooperation with Semviro groups was proven to be a positive step of Malaysia's healthcare industry toward a better future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Azim, with your clear explanation. We will know that the workers will always stay healthy. Next, Dr. Alisa, can you explain about what action can governments take to improve air quality?
Thank you for asking the question. Alright, air pollution is a problem that very serious and we have to solve it. So government has introduced a range of quality control measures for vehicles. This includes setting emissions ceilings for vehicles, improving fuel quality, reducing the use of diesel fuel, and promoting non-motorized forms of transport at local level. Laws are the starting point for improving environment performance. The current laws in Malaysia governing air pollution are the Environment Quality Act 1974 and its Regulation 1989, Section 22 of the Act state that restrictions on the pollution of the environment. One of the actions that government takes to reduce air pollution is by take the punishment to the individuals or organizations for not complying the laws. Therefore, in order to reduce air pollution, nation we have to take responsibility for enforcing this law. Besides, government also try to improve our Malaysian public transportation system by using more buses, LRT, and other public transports. We will try to promote Malaysians to use this public transport. Reducing the cost of people who are using such system is an optimal solution for lowering air pollution. Governments and citizens will gain profit from reducing air pollution in the long term, both economically and in case of health issues. For now, that's all the action that government to improve air quality that I can share. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Alisa. I hope that the government will try their best to take the action. Okay, last but not least, I would like to ask Ms. Hishotra how society can bring difference towards the increase of rate of pollution day by day.
Thank you, moderator. I'm glad to answer this question on how society can bring difference towards the increasing rate of pollution nowadays. This particular issue does not have a specific solution. Instead, every individual should take the responsibility. I would like to emphasize that society should play the dominant role here, in this case, in order to reduce the issue of air pollution. Some might be wondering how. Can society solve this issue completely? Or is it even possible? This might be the questions running in and out of all people's mind now. However, I would never deny that the issue would be demolished completely, but I also say that it is possible. I believe that nothing is possible unless we try. In fact, everyone should have this point in mind and start moving on by emerging the steps to reduce air pollution. Each and every effort made would never drag you to any sort of loss. Instead, it would enhance your selfless attitude towards your surrounding, especially the young generation. We don't need to go out far to prove or to take steps to reduce this issue. A simple act would give much a huge difference. Even a piece of advice towards someone would stop ones from involving in the act which would induce pollution level. So the main idea to be expressed in order to manage the increasing level of air pollution is by having a proper mindset and mentality of the society towards a pollution-free environment. Besides that, few practices should be taken into considerations in our daily life. For instance, we have to keep our car in good repair by fixing exhaust and oxygen sensor. In the meantime, the engine of any vehicles which is not in use should be turned off. Why? This is because an idling engine creates a hot spot of pollution. Buses and big trucks produce particularly unhealthy exhaust. Parents and teachers can help their school and daycares develop and implement no idling policies. Furthermore, do not burn your garbage, especially burning unbiodegradable items which would release chemical and dangerous gases like carbon monoxide into the atmosphere. This induces threatening impacts towards both the health and environment. As we have discussed, it can cause serious health illness towards every individual, especially children, and eventually leads to massive impact towards the environment. Moreover, effective steps could be taken into control by planting trees surrounding homes and in the neighborhood. As we know, trees filter pollutants and absorb carbon dioxide. Trees also release oxygen into the atmosphere and help cool our homes. Therefore, planting trees is a natural way of resolving this issue. Besides that, we can take a step ahead to reduce air pollution by using lead-free gasoline, which allows the use of catalytic converters on vehicles' exhaust systems. Such technologies significantly reduce the emission of several air pollutants from vehicles. For trucks, buses, and an increasing number of smaller vehicles that we use can be uh, can be used by lowering its sulfur content as another way to reduce air pollution at the source. Therefore, now it's proven that nothing is possible unless we try. As a society, we should never underestimate our need and responsibility in order to lead a healthy and safe lifestyle. Every action we take today would definitely lead towards a change in the future for a pollution-free environment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Hishotra. I hope that society will realize how dangerous is air pollution after they hear your speech. So, sadly, we have reached our end for the online forum. I would like to thank to all our honorable panel for attending this forum and sharing information to our audience. So, in a nutshell, air pollution is the most widespread type of pollution. We as a human being must contribute to improve the environment and to make our life free from this harmful pollution. The last thing I want to say is air pollution is not only humanity's treason, but also a treason to all other living creatures on earth. Thank you and Assalamualaikum. Safe.